and put a little bit of money in, because once you're invested and you have your money in, then you have a reason to pay attention. Once you're paying attention, you're going to do nothing but learn. The huge benefit of this is not only learning about crypto, it's actually learning about the traditional finance system that we are fighting against, and the reason why crypto was invented in the first place. Because it's right beside this one. It's gonna be a good day.
Oh, nice.
Oh, hey guys, welcome back to your Future Handle Biggs and Boggs. I'm Marty Boggs.
And I'm Julian Biggs.
We got Spencer on sound and screens. Thanks for joining us today, folks. We like to come at you once a week or so and share our journey through this transitioning world of finance and talk about some subjects that we do believe will benefit your future hand, simply because it's been benefiting ours. So we're here to help, folks, so why don't you do us a favor and smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, hit that bell, select all so you don't miss a thing, because this is time-sensitive information and you don't want to miss it. So let's get right into it. What are we up to today and how can we plan for tomorrow? Julian.
Thanks, Marty. Today we're going to talk about some things going on in traditional finance. Big deal with the SEC and the FED, the Fed potentially printing a $1 trillion coin. So we're going to talk about that. Stick around. Lots to cover today. But first, as always, the markets go.
Markets go.
Okay, so Bitcoin versus US dollar. I'm looking at the weekly chart again. So we got this big, nasty rejection from 31K. But I did tell you that the top was probably near at these levels. And sure enough, we got this big rejection here. And this is based on the 2-year resistance. So if we zoom out a little more, we can see that we traded a lot of volume up in this range over the last 2 years. So it's not surprising that we're getting a little bit of a rejection here. The question is, how much lower will we test? So the floor here, in my opinion, was $27,800. And that was the wick high of the previous leg up on the daily chart, and we've since broke that, and now testing 27,000, as a support level. So very crucial that we hold 27,000 coming into this week, and if we don't, very likely to come back, test the 25K range,
25K?
Short stop at 26.5, 26.6, something like that.
I like 25K.
25K is very possible, but,
Well, it's a psychological game, right? And 30,000 was a large psychological level. So 25K, another one. People can't count very well. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Yeah, major psychological. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And 4 months ago, when we hit the bottom, or we told you the bottom was coming even before it came, and the market was going to flip when we came into January, and it literally flipped January 1st. And I felt that way because everything in mainstream media and financial news was telling you that more pain was coming. You should exit your positions. It's not a safe time to take on risk. And sure enough, we pumped for 4 months. Bitcoin went 100%.
Which is also why we figured the top was near, because we were starting to have people talk about Bitcoin. So, hey, and actually, funny story. I had a buddy's dad call me up a couple days ago, or maybe it was a week ago. Hey, so how's Bitcoin doing? It's like, oh no, I gotta sell.
Yeah.
When people start calling you up like that, you're like, oh no.
Yeah. And so, I actually had a lot of stuff going on the last couple of weeks. I got some other things I need to take care of, but it was another reason that I didn't want to do a lot of updating, is because in that time everybody panics, and I don't want to be the one who steers your emotions in this thing. You need to learn to manage your own risk in here. I told you the top was near, and when I'm in the green, I told you to DCA out, DCA in, DCA out. When you're in profits, you take some out. When you're in the red, you put some back in.
Depending on how long you want to hold. Like if you're not, emotionally, invested,
then just continue to DCA
because we got a long road ahead, and you're going to be fine. Actually, can you do me a quick thing and show me, if I had bought Bitcoin on January 1st, where would I be? What percentage would I be up right now?
To just today.
Yeah.
Even.
So year to date, because that's what Buddy asked me.
Hang on, okay, that's before.
Because he was like, oh, so I hear this and I hear that, and I'm like, yeah, well, because the last time I talked to him about it was probably at like a Christmas party or something, and I was like, now's a pretty good time, 15, 16K, looking pretty good, and he's like, and then he calls me up, 3 months later and goes, so. I'm like, well, now it's not the best time, I guess. It's better than
64%.
64%. 64%.
So after the dump. And that's why, it's just going to drop 10% tomorrow. It's like, well, yeah, but
55% ain't bad either.
It pumped 100% first. Yeah. Now, but the thing to remember, though, is that in 2021, when we were going through major bull runs, there was 50% pullbacks as well, right? So that is...
Well, yeah, it's pumping 300% in a couple weeks. Yeah, it's going to come back 50.
Exactly. And so the thing that I want to point out now, so 4 months ago, they told you the markets were unsafe, don't take it on. And the NASDAQ went up 20%, the S&P 500 went up 20%. You know what I mean? Like, everything went up. Bitcoin was the highest performer at 100% from bottom to top.
Yeah, by far.
So massive profits taken in Q1. Summers are generally slow. This is, we broke the major psychological resistance and a resistance line from previous bull runs. So this indicated that the bull run is starting. Okay. But it's always gone back under these levels and taken a couple of months to reach the wick high again. So it's a potentially before we break that wick again at 31K, could be a couple of months. And everyone right now is expecting it to just bounce up right away.
And that's exactly why. That's exactly why. It's got all these retail investors involved and intrigued about the thing. And so it's going to flush them all out of the market. And it's when Bitcoin, when you're not paying attention is when it's going to go up. That's how it's designed.
Yeah. So in that case, if we do get that big spring up again, it's potentially going to look something like this. Right, we're going to have a major wick to the downside. So we hope that wick to the downside is only 25K, but that wick to the downside and could still hold a higher low, could be potentially below 25K. Right, so this is why I'm cautious. I did take some out and putting them back in at lower prices here. And so the thing now that's got me worried is the flip in the psychology. And now if you watch mainstream media, they've got Carl from the Moon is for some reason all over mainstream media finance talking about Bitcoin and crypto. And that guy's freaking always, he's got some trades from lower positions, which is great. We all got in trades. It was super easy. But a lot of the time, that guy's wrong. And for some reason, he is now... he's getting a lot of space and time on mainstream media for finance, right?
Well, why? But is he wrong? They just counter trade what he says, right? So if he's telling a bunch of people to go long, now's the time. That's when they crush the market. They come down and they grab the liquidity wherever it is.
Flip flopped big time.
Of course,
he was out, then he was in.
Every financial advisor flip flops all over the place. Yeah. It's because the charts change every hour.
I used to be addicted to the hokey pokey too, but I turned.
Well, man, honestly, I was long this morning. And I took a short yesterday, so it's like it's the way it goes. Like if you're trading, and that's what all this stuff is benefiting traders. That's what all it is. They want you to FOMO in when they're already long, and they want you to sell when they're looking for new positions.
So, and this is why I don't trade. I trade supply and demand, but I don't look at it that way. I demand my product and then I supply the market with it. And that's unfortunate, but to be a trader, that's kind of the way it goes. This is why we say DCA. Because if you buy every day, you will always end up winning. So if you even if you had bought every day since 69K, or actually even once a month since 69K, you'd be in profits right now because of the cost basis difference in that long period that we spent under 20K.
Yeah, so if you're looking to just gather generational wealth over time in an asset that is deflationary and mathematically will make you better off in the future, you just DCA, don't worry about anything else. If you're trading, well, then you obviously have to spend a lot more time in the space to try and figure out your trades. If you're doing leverage, then you really got to be paying attention because you can get shaken out really quickly in either direction. But if you're most of the people, I think, watching our channel are most likely new. This is kind of why we started it, because we want to educate our friends and family that really know nothing about this whole space in general. And the easiest thing to do, and just the way to get started, is to just DCA in. That's what I always say to people. Just start with $100 or whatever you can afford to lose. Put it in. Once you're in, you'll start watching it. Then from there, you'll just learn. You'll do nothing but learn after that fact. You just got to take that initial leap and put a little bit of money in, because once you're invested and you have your money in, then you have a reason to pay attention. Once you're paying attention, you're going to do nothing but learn. And the huge benefit of this is not only learning about crypto, it's actually learning about the traditional finance system that we are fighting against, and the reason why crypto was invented in the first place. Because for me personally, I knew nothing about traditional finance until I really dug deep into Bitcoin and crypto. And now I have figured out how the traditional finance system works after years of just being in and just paying attention. And it's blown my mind, which brings us to $1 trillion. So the situation we're going through right now, Julian, is we have hit the debt ceiling for the second time in 6 months.
Yeah. Well, this is how the economy works, though, right? We raise the debt ceiling, we continue to inflate the economy, we print more money, and everything keeps going. And the interest rates
arm flailing inflatable tube man. So wacky arm flailing inflatable tube man.
When you want to correct these errors made in traditional finance, you up the interest rates, make the people pay for it. They borrow less money, but more money comes back into the system.
I just hate how they just we've hit the debt ceiling and we don't know what to do. Yeah. And they put that on the news, but it's like, you think we're goldfish? Like that just happened like 5.5, 6 months ago. And what'd you do? You raised the debt ceiling. So what are you going to do again? So obviously raise the debt ceiling.
What are they doing now to fix it? Or what do they suggest?
Okay, well,
what do
they suggest it was
suggesting
actually suggested in 2011 originally, because we've gone through this crisis over and over and over and over again, because mathematically that's the only outcome, is when you inflate a supply of something, there's no other outcome other than it's just going to keep getting larger and larger, and it's a bubble, right? Like we've talked about before. And the idea came out in 2011 to have the Federal Reserve mint $1 trillion coin.
One possible solution to the debt ceiling problem: a specially minted platinum coin worth $1 trillion.
And they were just going to hand it over to the U.S. government. Here it is, $1 trillion coin. Here you go. Here. You can have it.
It's just like...
Exactly. It looks exactly like one of those.
That's worth $1 trillion.
Here's $1 trillion coin. If you don't understand that money is fake, if that doesn't make you realize that money is fake, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
Because
it's like the game of Monopoly. When you run out of money, what's the bank allowed to do?
Yeah.
They're allowed to frickin' write notes on paper.
If you actually have a game that goes that long, you're allowed to just start writing it down.
It's the same shit.
It is. And play Monopoly with your kids, folks, because it's very...
Well, not anymore, because I don't believe that buying real estate is a win anymore.
Okay, that's fair enough. But it still gets them to understand the financial system. And honestly, like most kids nowadays would probably be like, huh? Like that doesn't work. Like kids are smart. And kids are really smart these days. And like, it doesn't take a genius to realize that the system, the financial system that controls everything, every single problem that anybody has, whether it's groceries, homelessness, overdoses, blah, 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 it all boils down to money in the financial system. The only true issue with the entire of humanity is the financial system. Mm-hmm. It is the root of all evil, and Bitcoin has literally disrupted that and made everybody aware that, okay, it's time for change. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. So what are we going to do? Everybody else, well, like you said before, what they would do if you got in trouble was they would take your money from your bank account. So how do you counteract that if they're in trouble? Well, then you take your money out of their system,
out of their value system,
out of their system, right? And you put it into Bitcoin.
That's why nobody knows who created Bitcoin, because if they did, they'd have killed him.
Oh, of course. But the thing is, the funny thing is maybe they have already. You know, as far as we know, maybe he is dead. Maybe they are dead. Maybe it was created by somebody who's not of this world. Who knows? Yeah. Maybe it's just another stepping stone into the next era of the human race. Like there's a lot that you're not allowed to know, and there's a lot of information being withheld from you, not only in financial, but just in everything as far as galactical. So get ready for a crazy 18 months to the next 2 years, because we have an election year coming up next year. And personally, I think because everything right now in the United States is banning crypto, get rid of crypto, this is that. They hate crypto. They've demonized crypto. They've made enemies out of things like that. But I do believe that come this next federal election, we will see probably one Republican candidate flip and say, we're pro-crypto, we're pro-Bitcoin. And that is going to be the shift in humanity that we were talking about last week, where everyone's going to go, what? Like, this is what we do now? And then when you see it on CNN, that's when you see, like, the crypto community is already huge. So for anybody to go and say, I'm pro-crypto, they are going to get a massive amount of support. There is a massive amount of people that are already in this community. So for them to say that, that's basically guaranteeing a win of the election, because of the amount of people in this community already. Like, for instance, I'm involved in a lot of music stuff, music production, video production, a lot of that sort of stuff, studio stuff, as well as crypto. So I'm in a lot of crypto live streams, and I'm also in a lot of music production live streams, Otis McDonald, stuff like that. And when I watch Otis's the killer, one of the best guys doing this stuff, maybe 80 people in his live stream, you know, like Friday night, Thursday night, whenever time he does it, it's like maybe 80 people. I watch a crypto live stream. I've seen a crypto live stream just the other day, over 5,000 people in it. I've seen crypto live streams up to 50,000 people in a live stream. Okay, the community is massive. The biggest community I've ever seen on the internet is crypto.
And every other country in the world is having massive conventions
for the simple reason that everybody has to deal with the financial system. Not everybody's a musician. Not everybody does videography. Not everybody does all that. Everybody has to deal with the financial system, right? So it's a no-brainer. If one of the candidates go pro crypto, they will win, just based on sheer numbers, and that's all they care about. right? And if they do that,
Well,
who knows if they're
yeah,
going to
it's
stick
like it's like the population of the United States globally is what uses crypto, though, right? So there's 360 million people
Yeah.
in the States. There's about
Yeah,
420.
I think we're
crypto
still
users.
we're still under or maybe just
So-
over 10% worldwide with wallet addresses
Yeah.
as aside to with people.
It's tough to say. It's going to be an interesting election year, though.
There is going to be
for
some
sure.
fireworks. There is going to be some fireworks, no doubt.
It's going to be a bunch of crap, like it always was, though. And
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot.
And,
And,
well,
there's going to be a lot
honestly,
bigger things going on.
What we're probably
behind
going to
the-
see, well, it's tough
campaigns.
though, because what we're probably going to see is they, like we were just saying, they don't want you to have your eyes on it when it's going up. So, for instance, the last bull run was the Trump and Hillary election, right? And everybody was paying attention to that while Bitcoin was running up 300, 400,
And
500%.
for the last 2 weeks, it's been the top Google search trend, and it's coming down.
Exactly. So that's how it works, right? So that's why if you just continue to DCA, you'll always be fine. You know, if you want to get in and get into the nitty gritty and try and play and trade, well, then you got to really pay attention to
Eventually,
stuff.
there's going to be a few different families competing for the last few coins, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, it's obvious to see that the dominoes of the financial system are falling. We have Argentina. Did you bring that article up? You didn't bring it up.
Didn't bring it up.
We have Argentina at, I think, 81% inflation rate.
Really? Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, it's a big deal. They are basically,
Don't cry for me.
they just went up. So, for instance, our rate hikes have gone up 25 basis points per, not quarter, but, every month and a half or whatever. They just went up 300 basis points in one rate hike to try and soften what's going on over there. But the simple fact of the matter is it's unfixable. The simple fact of the matter is that the whole financial system is mathematically unfixable. There's nothing they can do about it. All they can do is add money to the system. That's it. That's their only option. And what that does for Bitcoin is it makes it worth more.
Yeah.
Anything compared to the US dollar is going to be worth more. Your bread's going to be worth more. Your houses are going to be worth more. Your rent's going to go higher. Everything's going to go higher.
This is what they would say is between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, solid Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Solid Bitcoin. I don't know, man. And it's just brutal because they have things like that show you were talking about. Criminals use Bitcoin.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen it. Maybe I just started watching this show Blind Spot, but it's an FBI show basically about exposing government corruption and domestic terrorism. And every single criminal uses Bitcoin.
They want to demonize it.
They attach Bitcoin to every criminal, right? Oh, we can't trace it because it's Bitcoin. Well, it's like
So
okay.
it's almost like a drip fed
fed
thing.
but that's how they've done that with everything over the years,
Yeah.
right? That's how they slowly implant these ideas. You form your own opinions and beliefs, and they just give you the ammunition to do so, right? So
They don't. So
It's
so
funny.
they're basically. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me because if you want your country to flourish, then you should be pro Bitcoin. You should have your people buying Bitcoin. You should have your people doing what's going to work, and that's it. You shouldn't be worrying about your whatever it is. Oh my, this is the way we've done it for 100 years, and we're going to stay strong to it, Uncle Sam. It's like, no, man, it's not working anymore. So give up the gimmicks and just use basic logic onto what's working.
But the difficult part of that for people is that they have to admit to themselves that they were duped their whole lives.
Yeah,
Right.
of course.
That's a big step to make.
Yeah, it is. I did it.
It's a big step to make. And it's like, and a lot of people just think you're fucking crazy.
Well, if you,
right? So,
to solve any problem, you have to first address the problem, then you have to admit that you have it. They have AA meetings. What happens in an AA meeting? Hi, my name's Marty. I'm an alcoholic.
hi, Marty.
Right? Like, I'm not actually an alcoholic. I was just using it as a reference, guys. Come on. but seriously, like that's how it works. You have to admit that you have a problem before you're going to be able to change it. So if you just, like a lot of people we talk about, ask questions because I have this, I don't like this isn't working for me, and I go, well, have you looked at Bitcoin?
Yeah.
They just shut down.
Yeah.
They just shut down. They don't know what to do.
I got multiple messages too. As soon as it got to 30K, should I buy now? What do I do? Should I buy now? No. Well, it looks like it's got. I told you to buy at 15K.
Yeah.
I'm telling you not to buy at 30K.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
People are manic.
I mean, it's like, but you should buy all the time. But it's like, don't wait until it feels like it's getting the hype. And then be like, oh, I'm going to throw my whole bag in right now. It's like,
Never buy into the hype.
We push dollar cost averaging on a forever basis, right? On a forever basis until Bitcoin is gone, right?
And most people don't understand that you can buy $10 at a time.
Yeah.
You can buy $200 at a time. Whatever works for your budget, as much as a pack of cigarettes are, you can
it's
buy
the
that
most
in Bitcoin.
valuable savings account that exists, period.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
and it's proven in the charts time and time again. And every 4 years, people go, "Oh, well, isn't it too late? Like, I wish I bought 4 years ago." It's like, well, no, this happens every 4 years, and it will continue to happen every 4 years because that's how Bitcoin is designed.
Well, the simple matter of the fact is that the worst time to start DCAing is today. But if you haven't started, that's your only choice. Tomorrow is going to be better.
But it's not, because if it bounces up, great. But if not, you want to be buying when it's in the red.
Well, so all I'm saying is you need to get in. The longer you wait to get in, the worse it's going to be.
And don't go, "Oh, I'm going to buy $20 today, and then I'm going to, buy another X amount in however long." Like, pick a date and do it repetitively. You know what I mean? You can set up reoccurring buys in your wallets too. But you have to keep buying Bitcoin. You only lose when you ignore Bitcoin. You have to continue to buy it.
Yeah.
And like I said, even if you had bought the day it hit $69,000, if you had hit the day it hit $69,000, if you had bought once a month from that time, you would be in profits right now. And maybe not for very long, because it could dump back to lower levels. But great. Then you've seen that there was demand in the product, right? People still want it. Bitcoin's not going anywhere. So now, okay, it hit 30K, but you start buying every day now, and maybe it hits the low of 50 or 15K again.
Yeah.
Well, fucking great.
But honestly, like I said, the most value that you will get out of this space is not the coin, not the coins, not the crypto. It's just the awareness of being in the space and the awareness of knowing what happens, how this whole system works. Because once you understand how that works, then you literally break free from the shackles of humanity. Like I couldn't explain it any other way. People that I know are depressed, and it's simply because they have lack of education. They don't know what or why they're depressed, but it's like, so they take drugs. They get hooked on the financial system or the pharmaceutical system.
They go to work, they go home, they go to sleep,
and they buy a case of beer every single day. They go to work. It's brutal, right? Because that's what you think. That's actually what the education system builds you to do. They make you get a job and pay taxes. That's all you get to learn how to do, right?
What better way to dilute the simple truth than to fucking confuse the fuck out of developing brains for 13 years with the fucking Pythagorean theorem and shit. You know,
exactly. And that's what it is. And whenever you get to talking to somebody about that, they just shut off because that's what they've been programmed to do. Like, no, that's too much for me. They hold it on a situation way up high, put it on a pedestal, whatever you want to say. I can't do that. I'm not smart enough.
Great. Like, if you want to go have a conversation with academics, great. But I don't. I want my life to be free. I want my time to myself. Yeah. And the only way to do that is to learn about money. That's it. Yeah. Right? And you're not going to learn about money getting a fucking finance education either, because I don't want my education from a dude who drives a camp.
Well, it's just more competition for that game. Why would they? They don't. Your livelihood is not in their best interest. They just want to fill their bags. Like we've said before, if you're relying on somebody else to give you information, they're going to fill their bags first. Always get into the space, look at the charts, figure this stuff out for yourself, educate yourself, do your own research. All these things are things that people in this space will say until they're blue in the face, because simply that's what works. That's what they've done. That's what we've done. That's what people around us are starting to do because we started this podcast. We're growing our community. Hit that like button, comment if you're here, and let us know. And just let's grow together. We need to get out of this BS bubble that we've all been held down by for the last 110 years. Like it's absolutely ridiculous, or even more. Like it goes all the way back to Roman times. They've been using, like you said, the power of influence to control what you do with your money for forever, right?
With food and gold.
Exactly, right?
That's what it's always
And
been.
Another thing too that's obvious is
actually, speaking of that,
gold
probably a great time to start buying up shit like corn. You'd be surprised how much money you can make buying corn.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Beans, rice, all that stuff. All have
right
stocks.
Now,
they all trade.
I guarantee whatever's coming is going to come with a bunch of bullshit about food.
Any commodity.
Shortages and shit.
And if you don't know what that is, it's just basically things that we need to live. Rice, beans, unfortunately oil and stuff like that too. Gold is one. And if we are moving towards this WW3 type scenario that is pretty much on the, appetizer plate right now, then those things are going to go up. That's just simply how it works. Maybe gold will break an all-time high. It hasn't yet. It's got very close.
Yeah, oil probably likely to come down. Had a really nice couple of years through that, but with what like Japan and China and everybody's doing, and Russia and stuff like that. Like they're buying up Russian oil at premium prices to wipe out the U.S. economy.
Well, there's
now,
competitors
right?
now, right? They literally broke the one supply. Now we have, the U.S. dollar breaking away from world reserve currency has allowed other people to come in and determine their own prices.
Like if you've been the dominant fucking bully for 200 years or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, are you just gonna give that up that easy? Like nothing's happened yet.
I'm sure Joe wouldn't let that happen.
Well, yeah, that's about. I think
you know what that sound means, folks. We are out of time. Thank you for joining us today. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and leave us a comment. Let us know where you're coming from, and let's continue this conversation because it is time, folks. It is time. Biggs and Boggs out.
The jig is up.
Peace. Oh, can you believe it?